Hello there, Mike Levin. Thursday, June 22nd, 2017. Again, in the morning on my way to work. Running late again, but the gears are turning, and it's very clear to me that I'm at a sort of crossroads in my career in a broad sense, and I would suppose at my current place of employment in particular, by going through this transition from being something you could categorize as an old school SEO, match your exact phrases embedded within your title, headline, and URL, and then make sure a few inbound links have that same exact word phrase either in the anchor text or nearby. And, make your quality good enough to attract other people to link to it, rinse and repeat. And while there's still a lot of merit to that, and while quality is king, and stacking all the odds in your favor technically by making sure keywords must be noticed on the very page request itself. Keywords in the URL is, powerful because you're taking the thing you want indexed and putting it in the index. I don't know why people don't talk about this more, but Google, while yes, it is a database, it is more an index for fast lookups, which is why Google searches are so quick. It's not searching the, trillions, hundreds of trillions of, individually addressable URLs, including all their infinite query strings. That is still, by all of today's technology, an impossible task. So what we're doing is we're scanning indexes, pre-extracted and arranged fast lookup tables. There's a lot of interchangeable terminology here. People often say hash tables, key values, name values, NoSQL databases, what have you. But basically, no matter how you're writing something, you got to take some input and give some output fast. So indexes are all the technical techniques of doing work ahead of time so that it's not a lot of work at the moment of lookup. So that's why all that talk about the Google index, when was the Google index distributed, and all that became old school with the advent of the infrastructure upgrade at Google known as Caffeine, which leverages their BigTable technology, which basically makes all things possible under relational database world, but builds it on top of a highly optimized, flat-ish name value pair lookup table called BigTable. One column or two columns if you include the key as a column. Key in, output out. So one sure way to force Google to at least index your page by a particular word arrangement is to put it in your URL and your title tag and trickle down what that means everywhere else that makes sense. Short of keyword stuffing, because you don't ever want to craft an experience that is unacceptable to your audience. They can see it. Anyone who's run into websites that exist primarily to get the search hit knows what I'm talking about. You know spam websites when you see them. So you can't live in that world. Doing SEO can never be for its own sake to sell traffic that you've arbitraged, unless you're some sort of content curator and you earned it. So that's where Google is really going right now. Sure, there's a lot of original content creators, but they're not expert publishers, and they don't have built-in audiences already who are aligned to particular subject matter. That's where publishers come in, and publications, scientific journals, anyone who puts out things over and over on a pretty reliable basis that is of great interest to a recurring audience, either for professional reasons, as in technical publications, or for entertainment, as in so many of the other things we read because we are aficionados. I worked also for HFM, Hachette Philippaki. I can never get that right. Maybe that's why I don't work for them anymore. But it was a brief window after I was making my first attempt to get out of agency life, New York marketing agency, what we would have once called advertising agencies, but the marketing services being brought to these companies is so much broader than advertising these days. The way it needs to be woven into your life through your Facebooks and your Twitters and your Instagrams and your Snapchats and everything else social, which is collectively easily as big of a force as controlling what comes up for keywords in Google, SEO. Because on the one hand, you've got, researchers, people who are figuring things out. They have an active mind, they formulated a question and they're asking it. They turn to Google, pop, put the question in, bam, get algorithmic, artificial intelligence-esque answers out of the automated critic and editor, Google. That's what we're doing. We're raising an artificial intelligence to be the world's greatest, mediator, arbitrator, judge, jury, and, traffic router of quality. Quality. Google is forever about quality if they are to maintain their edge over the other side of the equation, which is social. You don't have to have a question, you just tune into the stream. It's the modern couch potato, and I love it. My poison is Instagram. I love scrolling down that full Instagram thing, seeing what pictures out of people's lives they thought were worth putting in the family photo album that they'd like to share with others. And I could just rattle off a bunch of people who are just a delight to follow on Instagram. And in, response or reply or, to also have my foot in the game, I do the same. I video things from my weekend that I think would be nice to share with the world. I just showed the Vitamix blender in operation with the strawberries. And so those connections are made between product, things companies have to sell, and people who are aficionados of products or, technical topics. I'm trying to do all of this. I have to have my foot in the game in all these different games in order to not go obsolete in modern marketing in New York City. Old school SEO becomes data scientist, probably a little too cocky and overreaching. I'm not going to be a data scientist. I'm going to be able to answer questions against the raw data polls that I do. Do a data poll. Someone asks me, someone says, Mike has that data. Answer me this, riddle me this, Mr. SEO. I've got to have that answer. I've got to be very ready, and on top of that answer, have it half-baked. Do the final bit of baking, because everything's ultimately custom. You can't get away from that. So that means the ad hoc approach to projects is a little bit more valid than the scalable, web-oriented system, building. Ruby on Rails, any of that stuff. Because I don't need a database, I don't need a web server. All I need is data, question being asked, visualized interactive bokeh output. Yeah, not data scientist. Python bokeh data visualizer. I'm heading into step 2 of this transition. Step 1, already accomplished, mission accomplished. I got access to a lot of source data. I can pull it, I can store it locally. I'm putting it on Google Drive so we can share the CSV files across the organization. I think it's pretty clever. Except they take a lot of room. When I share people into that location, it's like, we need 20 gigabytes of your 30 gigabytes allocation. I solved that today. I'm going to figure out how to keep all my CSVs efficiently archived, whether to group the zip files by month, by week, you know, how it makes sense to get the best compression to turn what is currently 20 gigabytes down to, I expect I'll be able to get it to, you know, maybe 1 gigabyte after compression if I do it well. A 20 to 1 compression rate, because it's the same URLs over and over, the same keywords. All that changes is the metrics, the numbers. So it's going to compress really well. And I'll be happy to have a database out of the picture, and I'll still be able to use SQL against it. Thank you, Pandas, and the SQL package to Pandas. So anyway, gotta get into the office and get to it. Thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you soon. And don't forget to subscribe.